I also think men cheat lack of funds. I do. And when I say that, no,
Before you continue on that, back in time, our grandpas and grandparents, they had multiple kids in their house.
and they was broke.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they
the
was.
father was
They provided.
at Chrysler
They provided.
or whatever
No,
was
they
working.
were
They was
broke.
broke.
No, they were provided.
Y'all just didn't know they was
And,
broke.
and Nana was
But
in the
now,
house
I mean,
coat.
if you want to look at it now, they would be considered broke.
coat.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Yes.
back then, look at-
Welcome, friends, to Spill the Tea with Cookie. I got some cool people here with me. We're gonna be chatting it up. Okay, we're gonna start from left to right. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Left to right. We'll go ahead and introduce yourself, starting with you.
Well, I'm the Don Dada, Bucks of Plenty.
Okay, Don Dollar.
I'm Simone.
Okay, and it's me, Cookie.
And I'm Pitt Mills.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And so all of my cool friends are here and have social medias that you guys can follow them on. Don, do you have social media?
I'm Bucks of Plenty on all platforms. BUXAPLENI.
Okay. Okay. Pen.
Ladies only. Please follow me.
Okay.
Penetration.
Straight up.
P-E-N-E-T-R,
Oh, Lord.
the number 8.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it.
P-E-N-E-T-R, the number 8, I-O-N.
All right.
Straight up.
Period.
Ladies only.
Ladies only.
Ladies only.
He said not the men.
No.
Just the ladies.
Just the ladies.
The natural born ladies.
Natural born ladies.
Okay.
You know, you
Gotta
gotta
clear
say
that.
that nowadays because it's 2025.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you put that
I
out there.
also just started a Facebook, Spill the Tea with Cookie. You guys can find me on Facebook, Spill the Tea with Cookie. With is with a W / and Cookie. Let's
All
jump right
platforms.
in.
We're coming for all platforms.
Period. Period. Yes. So the topic this week, guys, is cheaters. I know what y'all thinking. Like, what? Is she in my house? She in my house. She in the house. Cheaters. So is it true that once a cheater, always a cheater?
I ain't gonna say that because you might get somebody that you really like.
Once a cheater, always a cheater? Nah.
I think it is. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I feel like once you did it the first time you done got caught, next time you just gonna be sneakier about not getting caught again.
Wait, why don't you just leave that person then?
Exactly.
I know that's easier said than done, but how many people really do that?
A lot of people do it.
Just leave the person?
Yeah, just leave them alone. It's just that easy. Why stick around and play the game?
Yeah.
If you unhappy, you know what I'm saying, and you gotta find yourself cheating, just leave them alone.
But I
Yeah.
think
Let them be free.
happiness don't have a lot to do with cheating.
Well,
So what you think?
yeah, that's true.
I
can
don't.
agree.
I don't think once a cheater, always a cheater. I think for the right person, the right man or woman is not going to cheat if you are the right person for them.
I think also with a lot of people, man, with cheating, especially with men, we like variety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We like variety.
So then you just proved me right. Because once a cheater, always a cheater.
But that's
depends.
not always the case, though.
Yeah.
So
That's
when
not
you
always the
say,
case.
It really depends on the person that you
If you
with, though.
lock in with somebody, I mean, you can put that to the side.
Yeah.
But I'm saying most men, a lot of men, that's like nowadays. Let's talk about nowadays. Most men do cheat, right?
is it for lack of
most men do
sexual
cheat.
discipline?
It just depends on whatever reason
Nah.
it is. I mean, it could be on your end.
No, I
don't
I
cheat.
feel like it's just.
Well, I'm saying
I'm
what you're not providing for them, for your man.
But
I
I,
just
think that's
feel
when
like-
the conversation comes in, knowing what your spouse likes and what they dislike. If you say variety, I know we got a couple different wigs. Give me some variety.
Okay.
But if we in
know.
2025, a lot of women messing with women, and they want polys and stuff like that. So
No, y'all want it. And so that's why a lot of
They-
women decide that they want it too, because
They
that's the
settle.
way to keep the men home. That's their mindset.
Yeah.
To me, that's settling.
It
I just
is.
feel like it's
It's subtle.
we think like that because we're in a different generation, but I feel like that is the younger generation. It ain't that they pushing it from the men; it's the women that's wanting it.
Oh my God. So, okay, so then jumping right into the next topic, like, why do women cheat? Why do you feel like women cheat?
I think women's cheating is more emotionally connected
I
than
agree.
anything.
Yeah.
I agree. It's
I agree.
it's
I
whatever she's lacking at home.
home.
Like I feel like a lot of times women we decide to go outsource because either a man is giving us conversation,
to someone
Yeah.
else,
yeah, or maybe her man is working all the time and not giving
making
her.
excuses.
Yeah.
Yep,
I can
making
see
excuses at home, and she's pleading out to him.
Yeah.
Bleeding out to him. Hey, I need this. I need this. I need that. He's ignoring it. I got this going on. You know,
So
I
it
got that
makes her
going
wanna
on,
go
and
out.
just pushing her off to the side instead of just listening and opening up to
But I
Just
think that
listen to
goes
me.
both ways when it comes to that. You know, you have a man who may be working all the time, women working all the time, but we all know about the work wives, the work husbands and stuff. So usually the man can go find someone to cheat with at work. Or, you know, women have the kids and everything. And that's usually a maternal thing where you always have the kids, where the man can go out and do kind of rip and run as he wants to. If you don't have a family who is supportive and babysitting and all that, the man's gonna be out. We as women want to stay home with our kids.
Right.
So then you out, you find somebody, and then there's the door open for cheating.
Okay, what about you ladies that's be outside?
I don't be outside.
Oh
I'm in the
heck
house
no!
alone.
No, you didn't just say it like that. Because first of all,
We talking about
women,
women in general.
we
It's a lot
give-
of women that be outside.
We
we give
That's
y'all
what that's y'all
hints.
saying.
But-
Be outside.
We give y'all hints. We give y'all hints. Women, I feel like we before we let go, it's a whole year worth of mess ups from the man before we step out. And it's like, okay, babe, I want flowers. And then he never gives her flowers. Or I want to do date night. And he never gives her date night. Or, babe, let's do this. And he never does. And then she gets this guy who comes along. She stays faithful for a minute. She's like, no, I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. And then one day she just gets vulnerable and she gets weak because this man is giving her everything that she's desiring from her mate.
Yeah.
So it's y'all ignorance a lot of times. It's like, dang.
Is it our ignorances or what's being presented in front of us, like social media?
Right. Because it's really about what we seeing. It's,
Everything is preserved.
It's
on
a visual?
everything- It's a visual.
You don't get
That's
it
the
at
first-
home?
That's why.
I
listen,
mean,
cook.
but the same time, a lot of women don't everyday basis with they men. So that's what make a man go out and be like, man, I'm gonna go f- this chick or this chick.
But do you want it to be all loose and every day?
Right, Terry.
I mean,
But everything is, I mean, like she said, everything is. You say is a visual.
Yeah.
Everything is visual.
Social
That's why
media.
social media is easy in dating. Them dating apps.
Yeah.
You know,
everything
when
is
you
about
look
dating.
when you don't know the person, when you see them, all it is,
Sexualized.
everything is.
But then doesn't that go back to a lack of sexual discipline?
There you go.
That's it too. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So I think we as people, men and women, have to be more disciplined because
Exactly.
you can see something that's really enticing to the eye, but then you end up in a situation where it's like, okay, the grass is not always greener.
Green on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the grass you got.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
even when it comes to cheating, you are opening that person up to disease. You open, depending on who it is, pregnancy.
Yep.
And can't nobody afford no more babies right now, and don't nobody want no
And
diseases.
somebody can get hurt.
I got
Yeah.
a question though.
That's true.
Back in
both
time,
ends.
wasn't it king? Didn't the king always have multiple women though?
That was
Okay,
back
but
then.
that was back then. Back in 2025.
Y'all want to talk about back
That's,
then?
I mean, that's good life. That's
Back
life.
then,
They
the
bring
men
it
was
back now.
cheating. The men was cheating, but they just wasn't getting caught because social media wasn't a thing.
I don't agree with that. I think that back then, if we think about, you know, our grandparents, great grandparents who stayed, they knew. But it was security because you're still bringing the money home. You still provide. We got all these kids.
is
I'm
it the
barefoot and
money?
pregnant.
Is
I
the money
think-
to keep you?
I think in some situations,
Or is it
it can be-
happiness?
I
Which
think
one
in
is
some situations it can be money. I think when people say money doesn't
can't
buy
you
happiness,
does.
Ain't never had none.
yeah,
something.
Ain't never
yeah,
had none.
because money can buy something. Money, I think, really helps with a lot of situations in marriages because a lot of marriages fall apart due to stress because there's lack of finances.
Yeah, that's true.
When you have your finances right,
Together.
we
You
happy.
happy.
Ain't nothing to
Exactly.
worry about, you know.
I
Unless
mean, well,
you
you're something to
crazy.
worry about, but it just wouldn't be finance.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It makes life easier. Like, oh, I'm not stressed about paying the mortgage because the mortgage money is there. So we can focus on us. We can go on a date. We can go on a trip and we good. Versus, I'm sitting at home. I can't go nowhere because I ain't got no money. I ain't got no babysitter. I ain't got nothing to do. I think money plays a big, big role in cheating. And a lot of people, I think, also search for people who have more money so they can do those things they want to do. You know, funny, you know, being funny, I think is a really big thing in a lot of situations. Like once we get into serious relationships, we lose that, you know, dating each other.
Dating each other.
Yeah,
That's it.
being lighthearted, comical with each other.
But another
that
thing I
gets
see with
women.
relationships today, today, we don't become friends first.
Right.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we don't become friends.
Right.
It's automatic. Y'all see each other. Y'all go on a couple of dates. Relationship.
Lack of sexual discipline.
That part.
And
That
I agree
part.
with you.
Yeah.
100%.
So
So,
then that-
there's no foundation being built.
Right.
In order to build a house, you got to build the foundation.
Yeah.
Without the
That's right.
foundation of the
That's
house,
why the
Yeah.
first
women
storm
back in
just
the day, they had to
happened.
wait 6 months.
Before you get that thing.
But, but listen, I hate that saying. You know why?
Why?
Because you're putting the time limit on your.
Yeah.
So you want to play a game with me?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
You want to play a game with me? Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a game. So you know me. We
Now
like
you
playing
mad 'cause
games.
we
We like
So that,
Xbox.
whoa,
So
now
we
I
want
got a
to
question, because you know how like Steve Harvey had
Think like
that
a
book.
man.
Yes.
Think like a man.
Yeah,
Y'all
he
can't
had
do
that
Y'all
book.
mess around and get hurt.
Yeah, but he
Y'all
had
play
that
game.
90-day rule.
They tried
in
that.
the-
Y'all tried that because when that came out, women were
said
saying
y'all
that.
tried
They
that.
came back. I'm like, we ain't 16. Don't tell me you're gonna make me wait 6 months. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm not gonna even lie. Like I would say, I mean, like when the time is right, I don't put time on nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like when the time is right, it'll happen, right?
Well,
That's true.
women know what they're going to do from
When we
From
meet
day
you,
one.
when
Yeah.
we meet you.
They had.
They
y'all
just
had
play it
for
off. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If it happened on the first day, it happened on the first day. I'm not about to look at you. You know what I
No
mean? From
different.
the first day.
Y'all
do,
say
yes,
that,
y'all do.
y'all say
Yes,
that,
y'all
but
Again, it goes to social media. Social media plays a part in making people think that you gotta wait or you gotta do this or you gonna look like this particular person.
But I think social media has removed us from reality.
Yes.
I do think if you sleep with a man on the first date, they automatically think you're easy.
That's
or
not
whore.
true. That's not true.
I think so.
Now, if you sleeping with everybody on the first date, now you need to
But if
reevaluate.
a
how
woman
would you
slept
know?
with you on the first
But I'm talking
date,
about
would you
her.
say in your
I'm talking
mind,
about him.
well, if
They
you
need to
sleep with me on the
reevaluate
first date, then you sleeping with the next dude on the first
That's
date?
not true.
You don't think they got
agree.
mine?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree. I had a relationship or two where I sat with a person on the first day and
make her be quiet.
it lasted 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I didn't look at him no way. We both knew what we wanted. We both grown.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it
Why
goes
would
back
why
to
do
that
I
sexual
judge you?
discipline.
So I need to look at myself too then, right?
And then you talking about building foundations. You sleep
Right.
with somebody on the first day, there's no foundation
That's a
being built.
fact, but we are going to build.
But-
we're eventually going to build to that part.
Maybe
But
not.
We're not going to be in love.
What if you get
But
an
that still
STD?
goes back to
See, that's what
women
I'm
knowing
saying.
what
That's
they
what
want from the beginning.
You
But
gotta
that's
protect
still going
yourself.
back to y'all knowing what y'all want in the beginning. Y'all know if y'all gonna do that or not. in the
I'm gonna
beginning.
tell you something. When I'm
A woman
when I'm
knows.
dating, I already know I'm going.
You already
we gonna
know
do
what
it.
time
Her.
it is.
But
On
I'm
the first
I
time
might
you-
play a little games, but only because men do that to us. Like y'all y'all play with y'all mentally screw us and
Yeah.
then call us crazy when we there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, you done made me this way. Now I'm crazy. But it's like, okay, we doing everything like we go together. We doing
Right,
everything
right,
like
right.
and then it's like we not together.
Doing that.
Yeah.
We ain't-
Right.
So
And I'm like, well,
basically-
dang, what are we then?
So is that being used on? So do women use that on every person they encounter with
What you mean?
that same tactic?
Hell yeah.
Mm.
Hell yeah. We're not gonna let you. Let me tell you something. Would you play a game you know you could win?
So is it just because
Yep.
the first person did that?
Over and over and over
Yup.
again, or would it get
Yup.
bored?
Is it because
Yup. I play the game. Yup. I play the game over and over and over again.
Liar.
Why not?
Liar. No, you're not gonna play the game over and over because you know you can win. You're gonna want something more challenging.
Okay.
I wanna screw your brain like you gonna do mine. And yeah.
If you
I ain't gonna
do
lie, I
that-
do want somebody like challenging. Yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with
It ain't gonna
challenge.
always
I'm
be
just
the
saying,
same
I don't
person.
mind playing the game. I don't mind playing the game over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing it. But I do want something that's challenging as well.
So why do you feel like men cheat?
Variety. I just said it.
Variety.
Variety. Or I mean, it's multiple reasons, man.
Okay.
It can be variety. You know, we have a high sex drive. Let's take the animal kingdom, right? We're gonna use lions as an example.
Okay.
If you take a king lion, alpha lion, he got a pride of females. He got about 13 females. Let another male try to intrude on his females, no matter what's going on. He's gonna try to kill it. It's
part
to
of
the
nature.
death.
It's nature.
But them other females gotta watch that other lion hit on them lioness, and they gotta sit there and take it. You know what I'm saying? So
and it goes into
it's what it is.
reproduction too, because like when you look at in nature, animals will get an animal pregnant and then the male will go off and get another one pregnant. That's really making a nation. That's making the world grow. You feel me?
So what are you implying? That you should have more than one
God
wife?
said, "Be fruitful and multiply."
No, but what are you saying? Are you saying that you should have multiple different women? Or are you saying
No,
simply
I'm
that
not. I'm
a
saying-
woman should be open to just having kids having kids,
No.
having kids, having kids.
Nah, that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying it's part of nature. Reproduction is part of nature.
So, are you okay? So, are you kind of like
So the
Buchanan?
male-
How he got like 19 kids?
Like the
Are you-
woman a woman can be pregnant for 9 months or whatever, and a male can have 7 different women pregnant during that time. That's reproduction. You
It's
feel
a
me?
guy over in Africa got what? He got 12 wives, and he got 100 and some kids.
That's disgusting to me.
I think it's irresponsible.
it is. Like that's
It's
disgusting.
irresponsible because you
So take care
cannot.
of all those kids.
If you got kids in your own household that you raising, multiple kids,
Mm-hmm.
you can't give 100%, 50%
That's facts.
to all of them.
That's right.
So to go and have multiple kids, what if you got a bunch of kids where they all got game on the same day? You got to pick and choose. Someone's going to lack something. Then the resentment will grow. Then you grow up with damaged kids because mom wasn't there or dad wasn't there. Whoever has a multiple kids, it's irresponsible and it's wrong. And you're putting that kid into a position they shouldn't be in. I also think men cheat lack of funds. I do. And when I say that, no,
Before you continue on that, back in time, our grandpas and grandparents, they had multiple kids in their house.
And they was broke.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they
the
was.
father was
They provided.
Chrysler
They provided.
or whatever.
No,
they
they
was
were
They were
broke.
broke.
No, they were provided.
Y'all
Broke.
just didn't know they was
and,
broke.
and Nana was
Well,
in the
now,
house
I mean,
coat.
if you want to look at it now, they would be considered broke.
coat.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Yes.
Then, look at the time to change. But
Yeah.
if you go back
Ours then was
then,
$3,000.
in that time, no, they wasn't broke. That's why the wife stayed.
They
Because
were
of what
also
he was
No,
providing.
the wife stayed because she didn't have a job and
Yeah.
she couldn't go nowhere.
And it's called providing.
No, but then you have
It's-
multiple kids. You can't go out and get a job. You can't go out and do anything.
Women-
you got
you
12
gotta
kids.
remember
Where you
back
Y'all
going?
do it now?
Who do?
Y'all women.
Do what?
How?
Multiple kids.
No, I'm not.
And y'all gonna find a job.
Right.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. This is the difference between back then, our
Okay, well, that's
grandparents,
what I'm saying.
and now, right? Women didn't have a lot of rights. We didn't have a lot of jobs that would even hire us with good income because men, naturally, they would pay a man more than they would do a woman, right?
A black woman is
Yeah,
that.
a black woman at that. So
Right.
that women had a disadvantage. However, now it's easier for us to be able to go out and say, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with him. You can kiss my ass. I'm leaving. I'm taking the kids, and I'm gonna get a job and move into somewhere and take care of my kids.
And also, I think women, they have started working out of necessity because there are so many men having babies everywhere. Sir,
Uh-oh.
where
19.
I got
You
one
have
child,
to-
though.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I got one child.
Right now.
But
Uh-oh.
if the daddy's not in the home, what are you going to do with that kid? The government's not going to raise that kid for you. So you have to take care of your kids by any means. So there is no more staying at home. There's women who do get to stay at home, but for the average woman, you're not staying at home. You got to go out and work.
This
But
cost
you
of
said
living
that-
is crazy.
You said the government wouldn't help, right?
They not now. Don't go
But-
back to welfare.
I'm just saying.
I
back
know
in
where you about to
time,
go.
They took the man out of the women.
Yes,
out of
they
women's
did.
life
They
and
did.
family
Yeah.
life. So you can't really blame women for not being with the male because it wasn't really the woman's fault. It was how they predicted. How they put everything out there on the man.
No,
And
you're
put-
right.
and
But
pulled
I'm
them out of
saying
the black
now,
family.
when it comes to a lot of these broken homes, people are making these babies back to back to back. No foundation. They don't get to know each other. You social media, you hop in the bed, you got a baby. And then you got another baby 6 months down the road by somebody else.
Right.
So there is no man in the household because they can't be in all these households.
I agree. So okay. So do you think that causes the male to grow up to be damaged?
I think you can have a healthy male who is in a single parent household. I believe you can. Do I think that is difficult? I do think that because you have to teach that male how to be a male, and if we're
But
women,
how can you do that then?
I think
Well,
there's some
women
women who do.
No,
They
no,
can't.
we can't, but we can
can't.
give you an idea
Yeah.
You can give an idea.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Who you think?
of who we would want to
who
date.
you
Yeah. been with.
who you- Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who
Or
we
a male
wanna date.
figure.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
male figure. You
So if
give
he
an
don't got
idea.
a brother or an uncle around, he's gonna run to the street.
There's good teachers, there's
But they
friends.
don't-
Boys and girls clubs or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they
How
don't
did that
like
work
you.
out? Because that's only going to last 6 months,
Right.
couple months.
Right.
And how much? Look,
How
and
much
look at the
knowledge
streets
is being-
today.
yeah.
Look at the streets
Well,
today.
I'll say,
Look at these YNs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have a whole thing about that.
What?
I was seeing the TikTok video, the guy breaking down the YNs, the LNs, the BBs, and all that.
Come on, man.
I found
Acronyms, man. Y'all killing me.
the little young big bros,
Oh,
OGs.
okay.
Yeah, I
All
was
right, cool,
so
cool.
offended by it because he was like, little niggas is like 8 to 14. I'm a 10-year-old, and if
Right.
anybody calls my son little, we gonna be fighting somewhere because he's not that.
Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
Yeah,
Oh, is that what that stands for?
That's
Yeah.
what it stands for me.
Oh my
and
lord.
me and my
When
son,
did that happen?
That's been what it is.
What?
And people do not realize it does not mean black. It means ignorant.
Ignorance.
And so I was talking to my son. And I said, you know, if somebody, even if they're white, called you, you can call them that as well.
Right.
Because it means
It's an
ignorant.
ignorant person.
And he was like, no, you can't say, yes, you can. Because if they're ignorant enough to call you that, they're calling themselves that. And don't accept anybody call me that. I don't call my boys that. I have 3 boys. I don't call them that. You know, it's just, we need to get away from thinking that is a term of endearment because it's not.
Right.
You know,
I
the
agree.
Chinese don't call each other.
No.
They're slurred. The Hispanics, wetbacks, all that. Chinks, they don't do that.
Is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, they don't do any of that.
Crackers is white folks.
Yeah.
I think we've just.
Essays.
I think
We took
we've
the word.
became-
We
yeah.
just took the word. We took the word over. Ice Cube said it. He said, "Hey, we deserve that word. We took it from y'all."
Yeah,
But
I
no,
think
we don't deserve
no.
it. We don't deserve to
Yeah.
call each other ignorant.
I
I'm
think what
basically
it.
saying, what's up, my ignorant dude? So if I say that to you,
but
how you
it's
gonna
not-
feel?
but-
I
Nigga
think
mean,
it's like a
but nigga-
defense mechanism. You know how like when people or like before somebody can make fun of you or talk about you, you do it yourself. I think we've become so accustomed to just making that a joke so that you can't use it against me because joke's on you. I'm already using
But I
the joke.
disagree because
But-
then why you get upset when somebody calls to you?
I
Like
don't-
that little
How
white
about-
lady
how
who
about
called
when
that
a girl
boy
called him a
nigga.
bitch? Well, y'all might say it to each other, but
And
if
I
would-
don't.
But if I were to call you that, it'd be
It'd be
disrespectful.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I never
What up, girl?
understood.
What up, bitch?
Yeah.
Y'all-
I
y'all do that
never
all the time.
understood why women
But
do that
if
to
I
each
said,
other.
"What up, bitch?" You'd be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that at all. At all. Because I'd be like, no.
So would you say, not to cut anybody off, but back on topic, would you say that men would cheat faster?
Yes,
than women?
100%.
No.
I think men have the free time. Because like I said, going back to being the mother, if you at home with the kids, the man is out working. You don't know what he's doing from his on his way home from work. He's stopping at the gas station. You could get him a number, whatever. Also, like I was saying about
That's
the
not-
lack of funds, I do
So-
think stress, like a financial stress, can cause a man to go and seek someone who's not as demanding or doesn't need this and that.
I have a question for you. Are you talking about today's age, or are we just talking about in general? When you say the woman, because the man is always out working, because in a 2-parent household, y'all both should be having jobs.
Yeah, we both. Yeah.
That's true.
So
That's
I mean,
true.
just as easy as me to be at home, me at work, having a work day. I mean, you could be doing the same thing, right?
Women are
Yeah,
more
that's
sneak-
true.
women
Yeah,
are
yeah.
more
No.
sneakier.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's
Oh
not. that.
no, you better tread lightly. We are not sneaky.
It ain't that, bro. It ain't
sneaky.
that at all. It's that we don't mind playing the game. We don't mind. I'm your cousin, knocking your head off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Best
Beating
friend.
your head in.
Hey,
I'm your best
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we don't mind. We sloppy.
Yeah. We don't
You know
get-
what I mean? We gotta hide our phones and you know what I mean, stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, we gotta save our our numbers under different things. You know,
Yeah.
Pizza Hut. What is Pizza Hut calling you for? You know,
Pizza?
Yeah, you know, just different things.
Wait
you know
a
what I mean?
minute. Nah, just
Bro.
kidding.
Just be pop pop on the
But,
phone.
Yeah.
a woman could be talking to, like you just said, a woman could be talking to 20 dudes,
As long as it's understood at home.
and you
man.
would never know
Never know.
this.
That's a
I'm
lie.
talking about,
Don't care.
That's a lie. Women don't
I'm-
cheat,
I'm
especially
not
black
talking about
women.
Understood women. I'm talking about somebody that's in a relationship, faithful relationship, as they say on whatever as they appear. She'll be talking to 20 different motherfuckers, and you would never know that, because women know how to hide everything.
What?
I feel different, at least for me. Like the guilt of cheating, because growing up, my dad cheated on my mom when we were kids, and that exploded in our face. My mom called a lady, come over our house. She lived around the corner. She came over the house. Mom, what's up? I was friends with her daughter, and I had no clue. And so when you go through that, and then you see the effects that has on the parent, and they break down, and you're just there. I never want to do that to someone else. I never want to put my children through that. It's to me, I would have too much of a guilty conscience. to
So you
do
say
that.
your dad cheated on your mother? Well, my mother cheated on her husband.
Oh.
And the guy that was, the guy that she cheated on her husband with, they were friends. Well, he used to come over to the house. So he was always in his face. So, I mean, they were just sneaky with it. Just like he was saying. Just being sneaky.
So how's it okay? Like I've never understood that dynamic, right? Because I've been cheated on
And they were
before, right?
friends.
I've been cheated on before, and the person that he was cheating on me with was literally right in my face, and she was fine with being
Number two.
How is it that someone can feel so comfortable in a room with somebody and you know that you're doing something with that person's individual? Like I never understood that.
I think we've gotten away from shame. We've gotten away from morals. And I think the side chick side dude culture has been catapulted in the media. Like it's a badge of honor to be a side anything, but you're not being chosen as the whole. You know, I don't want to be an option. I don't want to be a side dish. Either it's me and all of me, or it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
And literally, like you had me around her.
Yeah.
I'm breaking bread with her, and the whole time
But that
she
also
fucking my
shows
man.
about her and how little she thinks of herself. Because you don't want somebody who's going to keep you in the dark. You know, you want to be this person's one and only. You don't want to have to sneak around. You want to go to the family barbecues, you know. But if that's what you think about yourself, that's what you think about yourself. And I think self-esteem has really
That's
come
it.
to an all-time low.
Low.
Yeah.
Very
With
low.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
Self-esteem.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Women can't go out with lashes no more, weave,
Yeah.
fingernails. They just can't go out
They
barefaced.
paint their whole
just paint
face.
their whole face. It's a shame now. Like, you know, I'm like, whenever you see me, I'm me.
I listen.
I ain't got no jewelry on, no makeup, none of that.
I
You
got
know
a
what I'm
bad
saying?
hair day today, so I threw my wig on. I got hair under here. Donut cookie.
Yeah, she definitely has hair under here.
But
Definitely
when
has
you-
hair.
When you see us, I mean, when you see a, you know, an average guy, man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We ain't got no persona to hide behind.
But see, I'm going to challenge you both.
Challenge
You
me.
ain't even trying to.
I'm going to challenge you both.
looking
It's
regular.
about social media.
Okay, talk to
Those
me.
women are putting their best foot forward. They're editing their pictures and all
Facts.
that. So for you to say, you know, you can't go out being yourself, you guys see this image of someone done up and altered. So you don't want the natural self, really.
Ooh, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Ooh, yes, let's stop right there. Thank you so much for tuning in to Spill the Tea with Cookie. I hope you guys tune back in next week to hear his response to her answer.
To my question.
Bye, guys. Oh, yeah, her question. Bye, guys. Hey, y'all. Did y'all like the video? I hope you did. Do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and hit that dingly bell. Don't forget to click off so you know when we post.
The suppression, the use of marijuana